And now you can see the Backseat Mogul Show in all its video glory on our YouTube page at roughedge.tv. It's tiki time at Harbor Cove Cafe. Dive into the tropical paradise at the end of Spinnaker Drive in Ventura with vibrant drinks, delicious bites, award-winning fish and chips, and more. Now featuring extended hours and happy hour, Fridays from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Harbor Cove Cafe, the hidden treasure at the end of Spinnaker Drive. Visit harborcovecafe.net for more information.
Showbiz is a cruel and shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free and good men die like dogs for no good reason. There's also a bad side.
This is the Backseat Mogul Show live here on Rough Edge FM. I am R. Scott Bolton. I am the Backseat Mogul, and I'm also the guy who forgot to press the button that adds us to the screen. So now we're here, so it's time to go. Johnny D sitting over there. Johnny, good morning.
Good morning, Scotty B. How are you?
I am good. It's good to be back. You missed last week's show because you were ill, but I did a little brief 20-minute thing. I reviewed a couple of DVD and Blu-ray releases.
Yeah, because I didn't think you, because of what you had going on, I didn't think you were going to do a show at all. But man, last week I was just terrible.
Yeah, I was moving my son from Fraser Park to Ventura, so I was quite busy last week. But I did a show in the morning both days. I did the anime show on Sunday too, and then we drove all the way up to Fraser Park, which isn't a bad drive. It's 75 minutes, and the bad part was loading. The bad part was loading up all the stuff from the house. The worst part was that the altitude gets me every time because, I think the altitude at Fraser Park's like 35,000 feet or something. And what is it here in Ventura?
A lot lower.
0. We're at sea level. So, so that is a big difference. And it affects me when we go to Bishop. I just, the altitude always gets me. So.
Yeah. Could be worse. It could have been snowing.
That would have been worse. Yes, that would have been worse. We lucked out, didn't have any rain or anything like that while we were up there doing that. And it, required several trips to the dump. Also screwed up my truck because now my truck's got a coolant leak from crawling up the 5 back and forth for 3 days in a row. That's not good, but I got to get that fixed. But it's done.
Is it radiator problems or?
Don't know yet. I just noticed leaking. It's losing coolant somewhere. So probably the radiator. I think that may be the original radiator in there.
Or it could be a possible water pump or maybe even a hose.
I'm losing coolant, so for sure. So it could be any of those things. Yeah. And have I replaced the water pump in that? I don't think I have. Anyway, we'll find out. Jay will tell me. Jay of Jay's Automotive here in Ventura. Jay, the best mechanic in Ventura for my money.
Well, he's been your mechanic for, God.
Since high school.
I was going to say numbers
many
of
years ago. Yeah. Well, I knew Jay from high school, and a couple of years after high school, I bumped him to at a gas station. He told me he was opening his own mechanic shop. And it's good to have a mechanic who and you can trust, who's not going to try to, well, this is wrong, and then charge you extra for it, because Jay's, he's a friend. He's not going to do that. So he's been great for years. Jay's Automotive here in Ventura, California. Free ad for Jay there. I have nothing prepared for today except for my review of A Working Man. Everything else, we're just going to play by the numbers. It's one of those shotgun shows. We're going to just go through and find out what we got going on in the news out there. But I will start with my review of A Working Man, and I will be very careful because Johnny hasn't seen it yet.
Before you do that, we had a good breakfast today.
Thanks. That's great.
Yeah. Jack in the Box. Croissant, sausage, and egg for me. Croissant, sausage for you.
Johnny, did they give us that sandwich for free?
No.
So they don't get mentioned on the air.
got it for free.
Well, Jay got it for free. Well, that's true. You did. So you should be thanking me on the air, not Jack in the Box.
Well, thank you, Scotty.
Anyway, so I did go see A Working Man. Now, as everybody out there knows, I am a huge Jason Statham fan. I just love his movies. I love his style. I I know they're big, silly movies most of the time, and that's okay with me. With The Beekeeper, he hit new heights. The Beekeeper was a smash hit, cost a very inexpensive movie, and made a lot of money. Beekeeper 2 has already been greenlit and is going, so we're looking for more Beekeeper coming up soon. And I was hoping this was a turning point for Mr. Statham because, like I said, sometimes his movies are just too silly and too overblown. And unfortunately, A Working Man is one of them. Here's the thing about A Working Man. It's got this terrific setup. It's got this construction worker who, of course, has a military background. He's suffered through PTSD and so many other things. And this family welcomes him as one of their own and gives him the job at the construction company. And somebody kidnaps their daughter. And so they ask Jason to help them. And of course, he agrees, and that's what the whole storyline's about. He's got a buddy in the film was in the war with him and is blind because of something blew up in his face. David Harbour plays that part, but he's a perfect archman. He's great with a bow and arrow. That's a cool character there too, And so you get the setup, which is a perfect Jason Statham setup with not just getting the daughter back, but exacting his revenge on those who took her. Then you've got David Harbour, who's not in it nearly enough. I would have liked to seen his character get into some action. Doesn't really happen that way. And then you have the bad guys. The bad guys ruin. They ruin A Working Man. And they ruin it in two ways. One, they're badly written. Sylvester Stallone wrote the script. And it's terrible. It's an awful script. And I mean, they actually use the words. There's some words, as a screenwriter, you don't use because they're so overused. They're in this movie. This first one's bad enough. This motorcycle gang, who is the most ridiculous motorcycle gang you've ever seen in your life, decides to go into this house. And the leader tells them what? Lock and load. No, you didn't say lock and load, did you? Come on. To make that worse, this one is just unforgivable. Jason is with a woman there, and they're doing some kind of computer stuff or something. I'm not sure exactly. And Jason says something. Oh, they're looking at a video screen, watching some footage, right? And Jason says, "Make it bigger." And the woman says, "What?" That's what she said. I'm not kidding. That's the line. That's what? That's terrible.
Oh,
lousy,
she says.
Lazy, because it's like The Office. That's what she said. Come on. I was just so Now, back to the characters. The bad guy characters are so overwritten and so dumb, and they supposed to have all these stingers, and the stingers don't work. And that's bad enough. These poor actors, I'm not going to rag on the actors because they had nothing to work with. Then they give them these costumes, and the costumes are ridiculous. I start watching A Working Man, and this is going to be about Jason Statham against human traffickers. Cool. Then it goes on a little while to go, it's Jason Statham going after some really cliched Russian mob. Then I'm it's Jason Statham versus post-apocalyptic warriors like in Mad Max. Then it's Jason Statham versus vampires. Now, none of that's the case. There is no vampires. There's no post-apocalyptic war, but they're dressed like them. The main bad guy, the main Russian bad guy, who's so over the top, you want Jason to shoot him before he says a word. He's wearing a ruffly shirt. He's wearing the ruff. Like, what is that?
Like Interview with the Vampire.
Yes. The other Russians, the older Russians, they're wearing these long coats that look like vampire coats, and they talk like vampires, and half the time you can't understand what they're saying.
Are they the motorcycle gang?
No, the motorcycle gang, when he first meets them, he goes to this bar to get some information from this motorcycle gang. Typical motorcycle bar, that's fine. Typical motorcycles all parked out front in lines, that's fine. He goes inside, asks to speak to the boss. They take him in a back room. The boss is sitting there in the back room in a throne made of exhaust pipes, chrome exhaust pipes. What?
Looks like somebody
What?
watched Game of Thrones.
That's exactly what it's like, except it's exhaust pipes instead of spikes like they have. What is this? So then later on, those people get on their motorcycles and go riding out. Well, not before they get all their helmets with the cow horns on, the devil horns, and oh my God, it's just so bad.
You sure they weren't trying to mimic Every Which Way But Loose?
I think what they're trying to do, and that's kind of what it was like. I think that the director, David Ayer, has a fetish for comic book bad guys. Because remember, the only bad guy that didn't really work in The Beekeeper was that weird assassin that showed up at the gas station. She was so out of the mix there. She was kind of cool, but she was just didn't fit. And none of these bad guys fit. And so
in Beekeeper, the one that didn't fit for me, yes, I will agree with you with her. But it was that guy with the accent, the heavy set dude with the bad teeth.
I don't remember him at all. So
that's how bad he was.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't remember him, but I just remember her being so cartoonish.
Yeah, over the top with her machine gun.
Yeah, and then they cut the line out. At least as far as I remember, I need to see it again because there was a line in the trailer that was a great line. He throws honey on her and then lights her on fire. Mm-hmm. And later on, the cops are like, "Well, he threw honey on her," and he goes, "And that killed her." He goes, "Oh, well, maybe you don't know, but honey is very flammable." That line was taken out. So when she threw honey in, but you weren't really sure what was going on. Anyway, back to the bad guys. The bad guys are just so ridiculous. And so it's like you're watching a cartoon. I mean, they're just at the very end, the last two assassins come on the screen. One of them looks so much like Uncle Fester that my wife and I both burst out laughing at the same time. And then the other guy is like Marilyn Manson sans makeup. With a stupid machine gun that he just fires at will. That's what I'm just very, very sorry to say that a working man is awful because here's the thing. It's based in a series of books in which there are at least 10 books. I know because I bought all 10 books. I'm hoping the books are better than the movie because if they're not, I'm going to be very disappointed that I have 10 books. And they must be, by the way, because I think that the problem with a working man is what the director did and the writer, Stallone's got to take some heat for this too, is they forgot the title of their movie. The title of the movie is A Working Man. Everything should have been at ground level. Everything should have been average, everyday, realistic villains and heroes. Now, I know that everybody's laughing because Jason Statham, realistic. He's the exception. He's supposed to be the exception. These bad guys are supposed to be just the... I just thought of a couple more bad guys. They're supposed to be these. They should be realistic and believable. Mm-hmm. None of them are believable. The first two assassins you see are twin brothers. One of them wearing this bizarre plaid jumpsuit, gold plaid jumpsuit with a gold bucket hat. His brother's wearing the same exact thing, but blue. Who costumed these people? Anyway, that's my review of a working man. I really wish it was better.
You don't suppose it was purposely done that way?
It was purposely done that way, and that's the problem.
No, I mean because they didn't care.
No. Like I said, I think that the director has a fetish for cartoonish characters because that's most of the characters in The Beekeeper were realistic type villains,
right?
And then that one cartoon character stuck out. She didn't fit. This one, they're all cartoon characters, and they're so over-the-top ridiculous that it's heartbreaking. It was just heartbreaking.
I will go see it this week at our corner theater.
You'll see what I mean. I mean, as soon as you see the throne with the exhaust pipes, just like, oh, God, where are we going
now,
with this?
You said that the motorcycle gang, their leader says lock and load.
Yes.
Were these motorcycle guys, were they former military? Because that is a military.
I don't care if it's a military term or not. You don't use it in movies anymore. It's overused. It's such a cliche now that you don't use it. You avoid it. Stallone would use it because he's been writing scripts for so long that he's stuck in his head probably. But I
wonder how much of it, even though he wrote it, how much the director rewrote it.
The director is a co-writer in the thing. And, but here's the thing. Stallone, I think, won an Oscar when he wrote Rocky. Deservedly so. He also wrote Expendables 1, 2, and 3. So, and those movies are awful. So they shouldn't have gone with Stallone. They should have got a better screenwriter. Maybe the guy who did The Beekeeper would have been a better choice. but it just
Was the Beekeeper director same guy?
same guy.
But that was a good movie.
Because he didn't have all cartoon villains.
Ah.
This one, it's like watching Rocky and Bullwinkle. It's, I swear, there's another scene where one of the Russians gets bad news and he hangs up his phone and he goes, "Ah!" And again, my wife laughed out loud because it's so disappointing.
Cartoonish.
All I can say is that thank God we're going to get Beekeeper 2 and probably Meg 3. And that's enough for me.
As far as the Meg movies go, I'm not interested. Just
Have you even seen them?
no. I'm just
said, you know what? If you watched them, you would enjoy them. They are fun.
But what movie I'm really interested in is Spy 2. Are they going to do that one?
I don't think so. And I'm shocked too, because that many people consider that Statham's best performance.
Oh, I made it, didn't I?
And it was a hit. You know what? Let's find out how much of a hit it was. Let's look that up right now. We're going to do some.
I mean, those lines of his. Well, didn't I?
She asked him, "Yeah, where'd you get a suit?" "Well, I made it, didn't I?" God, he was great in that. Let's see what the box office was on Spy, and then we'll talk about box office next. That's a nice little
segue.
Yeah. 2015. I really don't think they're going to do a sequel at this point. And look how much money it made.
Yeah.
It cost $65 million and it grossed $235 million. So that's a bona fide hit.
Yeah.
And why they haven't done a sequel, I don't have a clue. I just don't. Melissa McCarthy's still hot. Statham's hotter than he's probably ever been, because despite the fact that A Working Man is not a good movie, it's a hit. So it doesn't really matter what I think, because people are going to see it anyway. But anyway, yeah, I'd love to see a sequel to Spy, but
because for some reason I thought
10 years now, man.
I thought that we had talked about that they had greenlit Spy 2.
Let's find out. Well, there's a thing for it, but that doesn't mean anything. It's been 9 years and I'm still waiting for a sequel to the Jason Statham Spy. So I don't know that it's been greenlit or not. There's this. Here's some news. Let's look this news up. I don't know from when it's from. And let's not forget that things change. There is no date on this. Oh, June 22nd, 2016. Spy 2 to get lots more Statham. No, it's not. Still not out.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'd love to see Spy 2. And everybody asks when's Spy 2 coming. And I think they missed the ship on that one. That boat. Ship has sailed. That's better.
They missed the boat. The ship has sailed. Blah, blah, blah,
all those Stallone cliches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Working Man is the bad news. The good news is that the studio is now on Apple Plus TV. It is a new series starring Seth Rogen. Seth plays a movie studio executive, who gets bumped up to head of the studio. And he wants to make movies that are good movies that make money. And I mean, like, we're talking like Oscar caliber movies that make money. Well, we all know what most of the Oscar caliber movies look like these days. They're all very inexpensive movies. Not to be said it can't be done, because it has been done, but it's a big, for example, in this movie, they wanted to make a film about the Kool-Aid character. And he doesn't want to make a film about the Kool-Aid character because it's a silly little.
That's a kid's thing.
It's a commercial. It's not just a kid's thing. It's a commercial thing. It's really a big ad for Kool-Aid that the studio knows people will go see and will make money, and that Kool-Aid will probably pay for as well. Well, he doesn't want to make the Kool-Aid movie, and he gets a very interesting offer from none other than Martin Scorsese, who does a pretty hefty guest appearance in the first episode. It is hysterically funny. Seth Rogen has this manic energy that just makes you laugh your head off the whole time you watch him, but at the same time makes you nervous as hell because he gets himself in all these stupid situations. It is hilarious from beginning to end. It's fascinating, especially if you're involved or interested in the film industry like we are, because we are the stars of
course,
that movie that's coming out. What's the name?
First Draft.
First Draft. Yes, thank you. No, First
Final
Run.
Draft.
First Run. We don't even know the name of the movie one. Sorry, Jeff. Apologies. First Run, which we got to get Jeff in here and find out what.
Yes, we do. Last time I talked to him, I mentioned it to him. So
Look
Matter
at
of
this
fact,
cast
Maybe next week.
that is in. Now, you got to remember, a lot of these people are just cameos. A lot of them don't even have lines. Well, that's not true. So far, all of them have had lines. But the top cast, the studio top cast, is Seth Rogen, Catherine O'Hara, who's amazing in this as always, Ike Barinholtz, Catherine Hahn, Nicholas Stoller appears as himself in it. Peter Berg is in this. Dave Franco, Greta Lee, Ron Howard, Zac Efron, Steve Buscemi, and that's just a few. And like Charlize Theron is in it was one of the first 2 episodes. As I said, Martin Scorsese is in, and it's just here's the thing. And I made a joke. This is just a joke, folks. So don't take this to the bank here. But if you shared enough marijuana with people, they'll do your movie. And Seth Rogen, my favorite Seth Rogen story is that when he and his, I'll blow that up a little bit. He and his partner left their offices on Paramount, I think it was. Somebody else moved in. I want to say it was Meryl Streep, but I'm not sure that's true. And it took them days, if not weeks, to get the marijuana stench out of his offices. I don't know if that's a true story. It's a story I heard, but I love that story. And anyway, the studio on Apple Plus TV, it's worth every moment of your time. And if it stays as good as it's going, it's going to be up there with Murders in the Building, Only Murders in the Building, as the kind of show that people are going to watch. So,
well, see, I didn't realize Studio was a TV series. I thought it was, when I first heard about it, I thought it was a movie.
Oh no, it's a TV series. It's on Apple Plus, and it's really, really good. Look at these ratings. The first episode, that's episode 4. Sorry, episode 2, 9.1 out of 10 reviews on IMDb.com. So it is a very, very good show. So there's good stuff out there too. Unfortunately, Statham has made more than his share of bad movies. And some of his bad movies are they're still fun. I think of the 2 Crank movies. Those movies are the most outrageous movies ever made in history, but I love them both dearly. Especially the last one where he spends the last 10 minutes of the movie on fire. I mean,
well, the same thing with Transporter. Now, I really enjoyed the Transporter series.
Movies were great, yeah. Well, the series? You mean the film series?
Yeah, the film series.
And
actually, the TV series was not bad. I didn't get to watch the entire series because I have no idea how many seasons it was, but I enjoyed it. And talking about Seth Rogen, getting back to that, one movie that I was quite disappointed in that he did
2 seasons of this Transporter.
Okay.
Yes.
Was Green Hornet.
Green Hornet was fun,
but I grew up watching the Green Hornet TV series, which was so much better than that movie.
Well, it was different, that's for sure. Seth is a big comic book fan. He was, of course, the guy who created the Preacher TV series that was on with his partner again. And he created this show as well, I believe. I think that he and his partner created this as well. He's an amazing talent. And it's funny because, looking at him and what have you, you wouldn't think that, but he's really, really a powerful talent. And I'd like to meet him one day. I think he'd be fun to hang out with. He'd probably make you very nervous.
Is his partner, is it Franco?
Goldberg, Dave Goldberg.
Oh, okay.
Is it Dave Goldberg?
Because I know he's done a lot of stuff with Franco.
Yeah, well,
or a few things anyway.
They're friends, I'm sure. But his partner, let's look it up. I think it's Seth Rogen partner. I want to say David Goldberg, but I'm not sure. Evan Goldberg. Evan Goldberg is his partner. Evan Goldberg is a Canadian screenwriter, film producer, and director. So there you go. What else we got here? So
it's kind of funny. Both their last names end in Berg.
Seth Rogen.
Oh, Seth Green. No, sorry.
I
was thinking Greenberg.
You're wrong 3 times.
Oh man,
3 times there.
I was thinking it was Seth Greenberg.
Seth Rogen.
Wait a minute. What is his last name?
Rogen.
Well, who the hell's Seth Green?
Seth Green is somebody else.
Okie doke.
I'm gonna pull it up on the screen here so people John can see you. That's
Yeah.
Okay.
He was in
yes, and other things as well.
Yeah, he was also in TV series Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That is true. So the big news at the box office is that Minecraft is still just crushing it. The movie got kind of lukewarm reviews. The critics gave it 46% good reviews. The audience gave it 88% good reviews. So the audience is obviously there to see a movie about the game they play. And my understanding is, I love this review. The audience could, let's read the critics' consensus first on RottenTomatoes.com. Ostensibly a film about celebrating creativity, a Minecraft movie provides a colorful sandbox for Jack Black and Jason Momoa to amusingly romp around in a story curiously constructed from conventional building blocks. So I guess they're saying it's kind of run of the mill, except those two guys bring it up a notch, right? The audience says, beyond being a fertile meme factory, a Minecraft movie proves how much fun two dudes with beards can bring to the sandbox. That is why the movie, of course, has got its audience built in from the people who play Minecraft. That doesn't always work. We know that movies have bombed miserably based on video games. This one, obviously not. But I think the big plus is, can you imagine Jack Black and Jason Momoa having fun together in a movie? I just think that's the draw. I think that's really, and apparently they deliver enough that the audience doesn't care what the critics say because they're going to see the movie. Right now, as of yesterday, I believe it is, Minecraft has grossed over $350 million worldwide. And it's been out, 14 days? 7 days. God, yeah. 7 days. 7 days. So this movie is a bona fide hit. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing it. I've never played the game.
Me neither.
I'm familiar with the game, but I've never played it.
I wouldn't be surprised if your brother has played it. Because he used to do that kind of stuff. No, he did cards.
He did Magic and Magic the Gathering and even Pokemon cards. But I don't know. I'm glad it's good news for the box office that a movie's doing that well. I don't know if it'll be number one this weekend again, but yes, I do. It's going to be number one this weekend, because the two movies that are opening, which is The Amateur and Drop, might do okay, but this movie is probably going to drop 50 or 60%, and it's still going to be at 60 or $70 million.
That's the other movie I would like to see this week, The Amateur. It just looks so good.
It does. It looks very good. Yeah. But I'm going to see it with my wife tomorrow, so you're on your own.
Okay.
But anyway, The Amateur is out, and let's check its reviews. Why don't we? Because I haven't seen those yet. The Amateur is Rami Malek, who plays an IT guy whose wife is killed, and he decides to go after her killers. His organization laughs at him because he's a desk guy. Well, he proves them wrong. So we'll see what this says about The Amateur right there. Great cast. Rami Malek, Lawrence Fishburne, Rachel. I lost her name here, but I love her. Let's see. So anyway, the reviews are 62% for critics, which keeps it in the fresh category. 88% again for the audience score. The critics' consensus says that Rami Malek is a compellingly unconventional action hero in the otherwise formulaic The Amateur, which dispenses justice with solid execution, but a curious lack of emotional stakes. Really? They killed his wife. That's pretty freaking emotional, I would think. The audience says Jason Bourne goes geek. The Amateur proves that heart and a good cast can elevate a scene before premise into an action-packed, thrilling ride. So that's pretty decent reviews there for both sides of them, as a matter of fact. So I'm looking forward to seeing The Amateur. Rami's a Academy Award.
Man, the first thing that I can really recall seeing him in, I'm sure I've saw him in things before this, but it was the last James Bond movie. Yeah.
He's the man he's the second man first man to kill James Bond, because the second one was Jeff Bezos. Anyway, Drop is also out this week. It's sitting at 83% good reviews from the critics, so better than The Amateur, and 80% from the audience. So worse than The Amateur, but still getting very good reviews, both cases. I want to see both of these movies. As a matter of fact, my goal is to see both this week. As I said, Shelley and I are going to see The Amateur tomorrow, and then I think you and I are going to try to go see Drop on Wednesday. So we'll have reviews of those next week as well.
And you've got to see this week, so we can talk about it next week, War.
Yes, I'm sure I saw it when it was in theaters, but I don't remember it. War is a Jason Statham, Jet Li movie. 14% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's aces. But I don't know why it's 14%. All right, let's see what else we got in the news here. This is big news. The Oscars are going to have a best design stunt design category.
Well, it's about dadgum time.
It's not a good idea. And the whole reason they've done this, and again, completely and utterly honor stuntmen. They do one of the hardest jobs in this.
Mhm.
But the problem is, are they going to try to outdo each other now, making more and more dangerous stunts in order to win an Oscar? That has been the reason for ages that the Oscars have not had a stunt category, because they don't want people increasing the danger. It was funny because in the Fall Guy movie, that's part of the whole story about
Right.
how, about how they, try to outdo each other. And what's the first thing they do in that movie? The guy does a roll that's the longest car roll in history. So, I mean, how many times can you do that before somebody gets hurt?
Mhm.
And that's the problem. So I want the stunts to be honored. I don't know how to do it. I'm just afraid that if you put it in a competition, people are going to do more dangerous things and somebody's going to get hurt. And we all know how that affects things. I mean, people get hurt in movies.
I mean, we've seen movies about stunts in the past. The Burt Reynolds movie, Hooper. I enjoyed that movie.
It's a fun movie.
The Stuntman. That was a really good movie.
Great movie.
Yeah, it was dramatic, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And like you said, The Fall Guy, based on the TV series.
The Stuntman's kind of a good point when we're talking about this, because what happened in the Stuntman? That guy wandered. He was escaping from some crime he committed. The cops chasing him. He wanders onto this film set, and the crazy director, Peter O'Toole, takes a liking to him. Yes, he was. I think he won the Oscar for that, if I'm not mistaken. Takes him under his wing, and what does he make him do? More and more dangerous stunts.
Like
he knows the guy's not a
car
stuntman.
going off the bridge.
Yeah, all that. And that's kind of my point. That's why the first thing people say, just like you did, well, it's about time. Pump the brakes. There's a danger here that needs to be addressed as well. You can't have this guy going, well, this guy's he's doing a fall from 40 stories. I'm going to do a fall from 60 stories.
Well, in Sharky's Machine, Dar Robinson, that scene where he goes out the window backwards, and it's supposed to be, oh God, what was the actor's name?
Henry Silva.
Yeah, Henry Silva. Great. He was such a great
By the way,
actor.
one of my favorite movies ever. Sharky Machine. Yeah, but you know what? Have you watched the documentary about that?
No, I haven't.
You should watch the documentary. It'll scare the hell out of you. He almost missed the bag.
Wow.
And that would have been disastrous.
Mm-hmm.
And Burt Reynolds, who directed the movie, is walking around about to have a heart attack because he's so terrified of what might happen. This is my point. These stunts aren't all, the stunts today are way safer than they were then because we can blur out cables and all this other stuff. But at the same time, are people, and I'm not saying they are stunt people going to start working hard to beat the other stunt people? And because it just gets more and more dangerous.
Burt Reynolds, if I remember correctly, started out as a stuntman in movies and TV.
Yeah, so imagine he knows what a stuntman does. He's on set and he's afraid that guy's going to die. And the guy could have died.
In the Fall Guy movie, again, based on the TV series Fall Guy, which starred Lee Majors. I believe he started in the business as a stuntman.
Maybe that may be true too. But my point is that there is a reason that they haven't had a stunt design category, and now they're going to have one. And I hope that it's respected. I hope it doesn't turn into a competition, because it's a dangerous competition. And as I said, Dar Robinson free fell from that window. These days he would have a cable attached to him that they would blur out later with the CGI. Which is good. That's as it should be. But there's still stunts they do that. How many stuntmen get injured a day?
Yeah.
And you're going to be competing to make your stunt bigger than other guys. It's scary.
Was it in the movie The Fall Guy? Was it that movie where there was an actress or stunt actress who got injured really bad?
Well, I don't remember, but there's in real life, there's stunt people who get injured really bad.
Oh, yeah, but this one was so bad that it was.
But she was a character, right? She wasn't injured. Wasn't an actual stunt person on set.
No, this was an actual. Maybe it wasn't that movie. Maybe it was another movie or TV series.
Yeah. Well, it happens. It does happen, and I just don't think it's a real smart idea to start trying to get bigger stunts than the guy next to you. because somebody's going to get hurt. And that's why the Academy's avoided it for years. But they, again, you have to honor them somehow. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. I just hope nobody gets injured.
What I would like to go see is a stuntman's convention. I'm sure they have them.
I would imagine.
But I think that would be interesting to walk around and seeing all the different equipment that they use and all that, strictly from an awe standpoint.
It'd be impressive. It would be.
Now, you and I have both worked in movies besides being the stars of
First Run.
Thank you, Jeff Janae, for that. Appreciate that. Got to get you in here.
And thank you for letting us say we're the stars when we're far from it.
But we have both worked in front of the camera, and we have both worked behind the camera.
Is there going to be a point to this?
No.
Okay. So you guys know.
Yeah. Anyway, what you got up there?
That really wasn't a point. That was your. I was waiting.
You said shotgun show.
I guess. Have you seen the TV series The Pit? I believe it's on Amazon, isn't it?
No.
Warner Brothers Discovery. So, okay. The Pit is a new medical show starring Noah Wiley. Is that Noah Wiley?
Yeah. Well, now that you mention it, it is him.
Noah Wiley. And it is all the rage. Right now it says that it's got over 10 million global viewers per episode on Max. That's HBO. So that's where you can find HBO. My understanding, and I haven't seen it yet, and I'm not sure I have the guts to see it because I'm not sure I'm going to see everybody else's guts. It's the most realistic medical show in television history. And based on that, it's edgy, super nerve-wracking, super disturbing. But you know what? So is a hospital. So
it's on Max. It's on Max.
Yes, I just said that a few seconds ago.
I thought you said Warner Brothers.
I did,
Discovery.
and I just saw it at Max, and I pay attention to the show.
Okay.
Shotgun show or not, pay attention. Anyway, I haven't seen it yet because I'm not sure I can stomach it. And a lot of our friend Steve, he loves this show. And
well, this is Steve.
That's true.
Love you, Steve.
But it's intense and it's realistic, and it's apparently the most realistic hospital television show ever. And more power to you if you can watch it. I got to see it because everybody's raving about it, but I don't care if Freddy Krueger's cutting people in half with his thumbnails. It doesn't bother me. But realistic in this case, injuries and illnesses and stuff like that is difficult.
Well, when you watch some of the TV shows, like one that I like to watch is Chicago Fire.
Okay.
When the girls,
it was so silly, but go ahead.
It is. But when the ambulance crew goes out and you see a person's bone sticking out of their leg, and it's like, oh my God, some of it looks so real.
So now imagine that not ruled by FCC rules, which, like The Pit, they can show you anything that they want to that you couldn't see on normal airwaves networks because they're not regulated that way. So imagine that broken bone being shown to you on HBO where there's no censorship.
Right.
Anyway,
well,
it's a huge monster hit and I want to see it, but I just don't know if I can.
Well, it's not the first doctor show that Noah Wiley has participated in.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about being on HBO.
I know that. But what I'm getting
you're going back to the shotgun thing. John's going to give you a list of hospital shows that
the only one I remember him being on was ER.
Go ahead.
Was ER.
Go ahead.
ER. But I also liked him in Leverage, the new Leverage, which is Redemption. I don't know if he's continuing with that.
I don't know if he is either. Probably not if he's doing The Pit.
Maybe he's doing both.
They did announce a new season of Leverage, and I don't remember seeing his name. I did see Aldis's name. Aldis is coming back, so that's good news. I think that, and I wish I could remember her name. The actor woman who plays an actor in the series. I think she's taking over that role. she's going to be the leader.
Well, I was quite surprised that they wrote out Hutton's character. I mean, they killed his character off
because he got in trouble. Yeah.
And I think, wasn't he exonerated from that?
No, I don't know that.
I don't know. And then they brought in Noah Wyle.
And Noah Wyle did a good job.
Yeah. So
Hutton did a great job. He was perfect for that.
Yeah, he was. I don't know.
I think
maybe he's going to do both. Who knows?
I think they're bumping her up to his position, which is okay because
they kind of did bump her up because she took over the crew that Timothy Hutton did.
Yeah, but then he came in. Wasn't he in charge? Oh, no, he wasn't. He was just another team member.
He was just another because he was the lawyer.
Right.
So it's basically
maybe they'll get the Lincoln lawyer in there.
Ooh.
Take his place. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, great movie. The only martial arts movie that win Best Picture.
I never saw it.
It's very, very good. I finally watched it.
Talk about stunts.
It's one of those ones I went to the thrift store. Oh, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon for $1. I'll take it. By the way, I got a double disc set of DVD set of Sergeant York for $1 at the thrift store.
Really?
Bishop, yeah.
Oh man, great movie.
I haven't seen it, but I will now.
Oh man, I hope they don't remake that.
They can't. Well, why would they?
Well, there's just been a lot of movies that were made back then that they have remade.
Name one.
Manchurian Candidate. But it was good.
That was way. I'm talking. Go back to. We're moving on. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. There's going to be a TV series on Amazon. Again, another thing. Is this a good idea? I don't know. Are they trying to springboard off of something like Shogun, which is one of the best TV shows to come along in recent years? I don't know. But the other thing is Michelle Yeoh going to be in it? I don't know. We'll find out what it's all about. But
her TV series did they turn that into a movie? Her Star Trek.
Yes, it was supposed to be a series, and then she won the Oscar and got very busy, and they drug their heels like they always do with Star Trek, and it ended up being a movie that I enjoyed. It's a different kind of Star Trek movie. It's not up to the usual Star Trek standards, but it was still fun.
But it wasn't a theatrical release.
No. It was on Paramount Plus. Anyway, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, a TV series is coming. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. They've done a good job with their Lord of the Rings series. I mean, some people are disappointed in it, but it's lush and lavish and well acted. So they'll probably do the same thing with this, and we'll see what happens. And they'll probably make it work. So Carrie is going to be a TV series. That's the classic Stephen King novel, the first Stephen King novel I read. I'll never forget. I was at Kmart here in Ventura, and on their paperback rack was a copy of Carrie. And I picked it up. I can't tell you why. And I read it. It had just been published in paperback. And I've been a Stephen King fan ever since then. Stephen King is probably my favorite author, all told.
I think that was the first movie that I saw Sissy Spacek in. It was an excellent movie. Now, I did not see the remake of that.
It was pretty good too.
And I don't know who played the Sissy Spacek's character.
And that's why I'm a little curious why Mike Flanagan, who can do anything he wants to with Stephen King stuff because he's the master at it. I don't know why he chose Carrie. I was a little disappointed that he chose Carrie to turn into a series instead of something that we haven't seen before. But that's just the case. So
now, is it a limited series? I
think that's what they call everything these days in case it fails. Well, it was just a limited series. There's only 11 episodes.
Right. Well, what was that one about the hospital?
Kingdom Hospital, the Stephen King one.
Yeah, it was
Kingdom Hospital.
It was a miniseries.
Yeah. That was a weird show.
Wow.
That was a weird show.
I never saw the end of it, but it was weird from what I remember.
Yes. Let's see what else we got. We got a couple more minutes here to find out what else we got going on. Mythic Quest has been canceled after 4 seasons at Apple TV Plus.
I don't remember Mythic Quest, period.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, I saw John Hamm's, the first episode of his new series.
Your Friends and Neighbors?
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was on yet.
Yeah, I watched it last night. And
Okay, well, tell us how was that? Olivia Munn is also in it.
I quite enjoyed it. Seriously, he plays a money man who gets fired. I mean, he's not just a money man, like some guy in the trenches. He is a big guy, or one of the go-getters, big shots in the company.
Says he's a millionaire to start.
And he gets fired, and because all his accounts, his clients, and all that, the company absorbs it from him. He ends up getting divorced from his wife, but he gets divorced from his wife before he gets fired, because he comes home and catches one of his best friends in bed with his wife.
How much of this are you going to give away?
Well, you find that out in the previews anyways.
I haven't even seen the previews. Now there's no point. I'm not going to watch it.
Okay. No, yes, you will. It's John Hamm.
Also, is it a comedy? Is it a drama? Tell us. Give us that. That's the kind of information we're looking for. Is John Hamm any good? Of course he is.
Of course he is. I don't want to call it. I know you hate the word dramedy.
I do.
It does have some funny scenes in it, and it's also got some dramatic stuff in it. So more than likely, it's going to be considered, I think, a drama.
How about a comedy drama? You can say that.
Okay, it's a comedy drama.
Or a drama comedy, depending which is heavier.
Oh, that's true too. Watch it.
John Hamm's in it. I'm going to watch it. Olivia Munn's in it. I'll watch it. So yeah,
it's good.
Okay.
And also,
now what network is that on? Must be Amazon if you watched it.
Yeah, it was, a matter of fact, Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Video.
Yeah, I was going to say it must have been. All right, let's see what else we got here. There's Olivia Munn now talking about it. I'm going through the Internet Movie Database. Oh, this is interesting news. They are working on a remake of The Bodyguard. The Bodyguard's going to end up being remade as many times as A Star is Born, apparently. It is from director Sam Wrench, who directed Taylor Swift's Eras Tour video and film. Now, what does that tell you right away?
It's going to have...
I'm thinking Taylor Swift might be...
He's going to play the...
She's going to play the superstar.
Yeah, thank you, superstar. Yeah.
And I've seen Taylor Swift.
And we know who's going to watch it.
Yes, we do. Andrea will be all over that. I've seen Taylor Swift in a movie, and she pulled it off. She was actually pretty good. She was in it long enough to walk into a car and get run over, but she was still very good in the film when she was on. So I'm thinking that this might be Taylor Swift. Now, they haven't announced anything yet, so this is all conjecture on my part, but I'm thinking The Bodyguard with Taylor Swift would be big bucks.
Who would you get to play The Bodyguard?
Jamie Foxx. No, I don't. I don't have a clue. I mean, who would it be? I know exactly who it should be. It should be Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell would be perfect.
Yeah. So would Jason Statham.
No, he's too old.
I wouldn't tell him that.
I wouldn't either.
I thought Kevin Costner was great in that movie.
He was.
And a lot of people think that the song from that was written for that, and it wasn't. And a lot of people thought that...
we all know this story, but go ahead, John, if it makes you feel better.
Okay. Yeah, it does.
It was actually written by Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley from Kiss.
Oh, man. I hate it when you steal my thunder. Dolly Parton wrote it.
And recorded it. And who'd she write it for?
The guy who she used to open for.
Yes, who she was on.
Yeah, I can see his name. I can see him. Had the white hair.
Kenny Rogers.
The glitter suits. Oh God, I can't think of his name.
That's not it.
No. It just bugs me. Porter Wagner. And the reason why she penned the song is because she was leaving.
Did you say did she pen the song?
Oh, that's what it said up there.
I was going to say you're stealing showbiz talk.
Yeah, that's right.
He penned the song before he was greenlit on it.
Lock and load.
Exactly. All right, let's go see what else we got here. Anything else interesting? I'm telling you, that bodyguard I'm thinking it's going to be Taylor, and that's going to be freaking huge.
Yeah.
Let's see what else I got. That may be it. Anyway, so let's go back. Bottom line, I want you to go see A Working Man, all of you, just because I want to put money in Jason's pockets. Unfortunately, you also have to put money into Stallone's pockets, and he doesn't deserve it for this movie. It's a bad script. And the costumer needs to be, it's probably not her fault or his fault. They probably got direction to this is what they wanted, but it doesn't work.
Can you read some of the
comically
reviews
bad.
to it?
Of A Working Man?
Yeah.
Let's see. This is the kind of review I was hoping for. It's very punchy, crunchy, stabby, shooty, but not funny. It's a lower ranking state thing. It is. That's exactly right. The fun is undermined by dialogue that is over masticated. I told you that. Russian accented word mulch in the end. A Working Man takes itself rather too seriously for a movie that unironically uses Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata as a recurring musical motif. That was a little weird too. Let's see what else they say. Statham is at the top of his game in this formulaic but satisfying wannabe pre-summer blockbuster. I disagree there. But no, he is. Statham's great in this. Ridiculous. Even the Jason Statham fans have seen this a million times before. That's true. David Ayer delivers an overlong yarn that hops between predictable, unimaginatively choreographed action set pieces and an unnecessary complicated plot that falls apart if the viewer looks too closely. That is exactly true. It's just my review in one word would be disappointing.
Okay.
Disappointing, but we'll find out. So we'll be back next week with reviews of both Drop and The Amateur. And
possibly War.
And maybe War, if I can find it. That's our last thing for the day. We're going to find out where War is streaming. Where is War streaming? I love Statham, but that just it's all over the place. So I'll find it and watch it somewhere. The other thing we were talking about is please watch The Studio on Apple Plus Television. An excellent show with a terrific cast, unmatchable cast, really, and funny as hell, and also a little nerve-wracking. But
what I didn't tell you,
how we were done.
Okay, so well, obviously we're not.
And I can fix that.
Well, yeah, you can. I watched The Continental.
Okay.
And there's only been one season, right?
Yes, and probably that's the last season.
The only season. And I would have liked to have seen at least 2 seasons where they can wrap up some stuff.
The problem with The Continental is it didn't have the charm that John Wick films have.
True.
Because the whole charm of the John Wick films is they killed his dog and they stole his car. And everything comes from that. And so you're cheering for him from beginning to end. The Continental is that world, but it doesn't have that charm.
It's before John Wick.
But it doesn't have the charm of John Wick. You missed that. So yeah, I wasn't thrilled with it. I wasn't thrilled with it. But so you said I never, in fact, I watched 2 episodes and stopped. So they didn't tie it all up?
They tied up how what's the character's name that runs the Continental?
Bob.
Yeah, Bob. Bob and Ted. No.
Doesn't matter. That guy, I know who you're talking about.
How he eventually takes over the Continental.
Yeah.
And that's how they end it.
And there's great action in it and other things like that, but I was just a little disappointed in the fact that it didn't have that John Wick charm. And I know it's weird to think that, there's a guy who's killing 200 people and the movie's got charm, but it did. And that was a lot to do with Keanu. I'm hoping Ballerina has a balance of that as well. Even though I saw a new trailer for Ballerina, and I didn't realize that John Wick and Ballerina are enemies. That seems to change things a little up there a little bit. So
in the last John Wick movie that had Halle Berry.
Yeah.
She wasn't the ballerina?
She is not. No.
Because I know they had a love-hate relationship too.
Anna de Armas is the one that's the same character. Okay. She played in that. She's coming out. All right, folks. As I said, we'll see you next week. Thanks as always for watching. Thanks for listening, and have a great time. Go to the movies. Again, I want you to see A Working Man because I want Jason to have a successful film. We will review Drop and The Amateur next week. And John obviously has something because he's doing his baton.
I want you to go to GoFundMe
Yes.
and look up Jeff Janae movie and donate to it. And the movie is First Run.
First Run, here's the GoFundMe. I put it up here on the screen. If you're just listening to the show, you will just go to GoFundMe.com and search for Help Us Finish Our Adventure Comedy Film First Run. And anything you can donate will help. And we really want to get this movie out there and so people can see it, because John and I are the stars, and that will just, it'll help our careers, and it'll help you feel good about helping our careers. We're not the stars and we don't have careers. So, all right, folks, we'll see you later. Have a good one.
Hey, take care and go to your.
Brought to you by The Grape, Ventura County's premier jazz venue and cocktail lounge, located at 2733 East Main Street in Ventura. For menu and music schedule, visit them online at thegrape.club. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.